Hello, today I'm joined by my guest Shannon Rae Kibble from Paul Dubberley. You're part of the Connells Group and you're instructions manager there. Shannon, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good. Good to have you. Good to have you with us. Today we're covering your experience with one particular supplier, and that is LMS. And I know that LMS have been working closely with members of the Connells Group to see how they can speed up and keep it more, I suppose, more together as well. I think that's the point of it. The sales process which as we know, if you can read the headlines anywhere in the industry press, transaction times are at an all-time high. Fall through rates seem to be going the same way. But what we're
Yeah.
learning from LMS's work out there is that there is another way. So, Shannon, maybe if you could tell us a little bit of your experience before LMS, what did the process look like before you started using the system?
So it was just a case of obviously when our vendors sold their property to the buyers, these searches with sort of local authorities and stuff like that, and all the nitty-gritty paperwork was kind of done at that point. Whereas now they're all doing it as they're signing up with us, so they're doing all the boring stuff at the start, which kind of makes their experience when they've got a buyer a little bit less boring, a little bit more exciting. And obviously a little bit quicker as well, which is obviously more beneficial to them because they get to move out, move into their new home quicker, their new buyer gets their new home quicker, but also it's a case of obviously there's less boring stuff to do for our vendors, so we get to have a bit more of a pleasant experience at the back
Kind of get
end.
all that administrative stuff out of the way because I think there is a big disconnect between the exciting sort of we found you a buyer, we've done the deal, and
Yeah.
then after that we sort of plunge them straight into the administrative burden, if you like, where they're having to fill in forms and talk to solicitors and surveyors and all the other stuff that goes with it. But this is a way of sort of getting that out of the way up front. But I suppose from your point of view, it also feels like a much more joined up approach when you're onboarding somebody. So if I come to you as a client, I naturally feel that that is information that everybody needs to give at the beginning of the process. I'm presuming that makes it feel a bit more professional as well because it's less just sign here and here. It's more these are the things we need from you.
In a strange way, it's more professional and also, I would say, more comfortable.
Yeah.
As strange as that sounds, because it's almost like rather than me just spending half an hour going through a bit of paperwork and leaving, I'm spending sort of 45 minutes now, sort of having that conversation, getting to know them, going through, things that we might have to tackle through the sale at the start. So we're kind of setting them up for a really smooth process, and they've got a little bit more confidence in us from day one rather
Yeah.
than just going into that sort of whirlwind of I found a buyer, but now they found out this has happened, and what are we going to do? It's like we already knew that was going to happen, so we're prepared, we're ready, and they think that we're taking it on in a more aware approach. Is that even a word? Um,
It is
you know
now.
what I mean? We're kind of more prepared for what's going to happen when
Yeah.
it's on the market and with their buyers and stuff. So I think it just makes it all a bit more thorough than other agents, which obviously gives us a massive advantage.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to, beat everybody else on the market, it kind of gives me that upper hand to be like, well, I'm going to go through all this information with you and nobody else will. So I'm obviously the better agent for you.
And I'm also guessing that helps to keep people locked in because after they've gone through that process with you, they're unlikely to want to repeat that quite as easily. Whereas if it's just, people trying before they buy and they only had to sign a couple of pieces of paperwork, but they didn't feel that invested in the process, it's easier for them to sort of then say, well, I'll try elsewhere.
Exactly. And also, when it comes to the flip side of that, of people that are on with other agents, when we go out there and ask them all these questions, they might have had like a fall through with their other agent. They're frustrated with their other agent. And the reason that they fell through with their other agent is something that I've picked up on that first appointment. And they're
Yeah.
like, well, my sale just fell through because of that, but you're asking it me now, so it's not going to happen this time with you. They've got a bit more confidence with us from the get-go, so stealing other agents' stock now is a little bit more exciting.
Fantastic, fantastic. And I think you're right. I think it does make us seem more professional as agents when we have these conversations with the sellers. It's less about making it simple. Yes, it can be simple and can be painless. But if you're just storing up that pain for later on down the chain when it's far, far more costly, I think to come in at a late stage, lose a sale over something that we could have flagged very early on, it just seems like we didn't do our duty properly the first time round. So this is great, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So in practical terms, then, how has that changed life in the office and the way that you onboard people? Is it the system that you're using? Is it fairly smooth and sort of well integrated with your processes?
It's an absolute dream. I'll be honest with you. Before I used to have to fill out tick boxes, contract forms, everything's now on an iPad. So I'm literally sat there with an iPad, having a natter, having a cup of tea with my vendor, having a conversation. By the time I get back to the office, it's already all on the system. So there's less printing, so we're saving the planet.
Yeah.
Everything's sort of all on the system. I've literally got to drag it across to my system, press instruct, and I'm pretty much ready to order pictures, get them on the market. It's making it so much quicker. Like I said, less paperwork for me, which you can't complain at that, can you really?
No, well, we can never complain about that. So in terms of fast forwarding then to sort of when you, because you've been using it long enough now to know, so when you get mid-transaction and you've finally got that buyer in place, are they also as buyers finding the process a lot easier to navigate?
Well, the good thing about it is that we're advertising on our properties that are using this system, that they are digitally sales ready.
Yeah,
So customers are asking now, like, what's the difference between this property and other properties? And I'm like, well, when you sell with us, you get X, Y, and Z, which means when you buy through us, it means actually come to buy a property with ourselves, which means that buyers now, as mad as it sounds, try and look for our stock rather
yeah.
than other agents' stock. So we've got more sort of returning customers. And also, I suppose they might tell their sister, oh, I've just bought a house from Paul Dubberley and it was really quick because of this. And their sister might be selling their house. So then it just brings in another seller. So it's also that word of mouth thing. When the buyer has a good experience, they pass on their good experience, as well as when people sell. We can get it on both ends now. Whereas usually buyers tend to just go for any agent because, for on a buyer's perspective, really, they're never offered
Difference,
anything
yeah.
extra
Yeah.
from an agent, apart from obviously the service they get with the sales chasing. But now we offer digitally sales ready and that quicker process at the back end for them. It gives people a reason to want to buy from us rather
I,
than obviously shopping around the market, which I suppose,
I
again, can't complain.
No, I think that's superb because as agents, we're always looking out for ways to differentiate ourselves from the competition. And thus far, we've concentrated on the kind of winning instructions end of things, and when we're signing up the sellers, we didn't worry too much about the buyers because they were sort of a means to an end. But this kind of recognizes the buyer's journey is very often also very elongated. Let's face it, this is a process that people don't undertake every day. It's not easy to get through it. And I suppose if you feel that process is more smooth, that it is ready to go, that you're getting more information up front, and that would give me much more confidence. Certainly as a perhaps a newbie to the process.
Absolutely. And when we're showing them around the properties as well, having that sort of material information certificate there to say, if they've got questions, sometimes agents will stand there and go, I'll ask and I'll get back to you. Whereas
Yeah,
now we've got it all in front of us. So we're
yeah.
just there like, yeah, well, it's this. So we just look dead professional on viewings as well as on instruction. So it's helped the girls that do all of my viewings for me, for my vendors, for their buyers. It just makes us all round look a hell of a lot better when it comes to the whole process rather than just what it's done for beneficial for the vendors. So yeah.
So you look professional, you look polished, and you look like the agent of choice in your area, which is fantastic. When it comes then to sort of having agreed the sales, are you seeing this do what it kind of says on the tin in terms of cutting down the number of fall throughs and cutting transaction times? Can you feel that coming into play?
Absolutely. Some of our sales in this office have taken the best part of 8 to 12 months because of different things. Obviously, we're in Tipton here, so we're in a massive mining area,
Yeah.
and that's something obviously that's always caused us a little bit of headache. But I think identifying that a lot earlier on now and having that sort of information up front is definitely making us more sort of aware of what's the journey going to look like. And I think when it comes to fall throughs and stuff as well, I think that's going to be less, which means that it cuts down that potential, 4 months in, it's fell through. We've got another 6 months when we find you a new buyer. Now we know that it's only going to take 3 to 4 months and we're
You
moving on.
you're up and running again. That is superb, and I think it really does add value for everybody in the process. And so behind the scenes, LMS, I know they've been working quite strongly with the Connells Group, and I've spoken to some of your colleagues in a sister brand. I think I've spoken to people at Peter Allen, for instance, who've been using this, and they've all got that same smile that you've got, Shannon. That it's opened up their world and it's made a big difference. What are the folks behind the scenes like to sort of deal with on a technical basis at LMS? Are they kind of friendly and easy to work with?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't come through many problems because I'm that kind of person. When you give me something new, I'm going to investigate the life out of it before I even start doing it. So, did a test run, stuck my own house in there, had a little go as an instructions person, and
Yeah.
also as I did it from like the customer's perspective, just so I could give myself that little bit of, reassurance as I can confidently sit there with my customers and tell them, okay, this is exactly what you're going to need to do next. This is how it works. This is how it runs. I'll sit with you and do it if you need me to, sort of thing. So I kind of give myself that bit of training. But as far as like the help and stuff from the guys behind the scenes, whenever I've got stuck with something, I've been like, guys, help me. And they've just been straight there, like exactly what I needed.
Superb. So I take it the answer to my final question is going to be a yes, but would you recommend this an LMS's services to other agents?
No, because I want it all for myself.
That's the best answer to the question. You know it's working when they try and gatekeep it.
No,
Um,
it's fine.
but it is good, and we say that obviously you'd like to try and keep it to yourself. But if you can imagine a market where we were all working like this, God, how much easier would our lives be as agents, eh?
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Well, Shannon Rae, thank you so much for your time and thanks for sharing your experience with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.